Black.
Shouts Jack Black.
He's a goat of comedy, if you ask me.
I love Jack Black.
He's up
I
there.
rewatched School of Rock recently because I saw a video where they did a almost 15 or 20 year
reunion
thing.
Let's
where
go.
they all performed. Like their reunion was them playing
Really?
on a stage, and it was sick. Like he's so talented. Like act, sings,
He
plays
is,
guitar.
he is.
Have you ever seen the
everything.
video of him playing that
Your
toy
ukulele?
saxophone?
Oh no, I've not.
It is
Yeah,
literally so funny.
And he's nice with it though, is he?
It's literally
That's
a toy,
it.
like a baby saxophone. And it's one of those where you
Like
press it and
Alyssa.
it makes a different beat and shit, but he's blowing into it, and it's just so funny. Look up the Jimmy Fallon one because
Okay.
he's so funny when he does it.
No, he's a national treasure, and he's he's got a band called Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Tenacious
Yep.
D. He's so funny, and they actually make good music. They're good.
Yeah, they tour and shit.
They
They're
tour.
very
People
popular.
fucking love
Yeah.
them. Nah, because he's a good
Look,
artist.
look,
dude.
saxophone Jimmy Fallon. Look right there.
Let's go.
Saxa boom. Is it him with his Tenacious D partner on this?
I don't think the other guy's on it. No. Hold on. Take your headphones off.
Hold on, guys. We're watching this real quick. I hope we don't get demonetized for this.
Jack Black
Tell him to come after us.
is the goat.
Well, it's like a saxophone, but it's a saxoboom. It's a different kind of instrument.
The saxoboom.
Dude, School of Rock was so formative for me as a kid.
Yeah, we love
Great
that
movie.
movie.
That movie's
Great
so
movie.
gas, so good.
What else is he in?
He was in
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung
yeah,
Fu
he was
Panda.
He was in the
Go.
King Kong movie. He
Yeah.
was in-
Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Yep,
yeah.
Jumanji.
See, look, it's literally like a child's toy.
And he rocks it.
You guys, literally, this is probably one of the best videos I've ever seen.
Yes,
He's
I will give you a
hilarious.
taste.
He's
All
hilarious.
right, shh, shh, shh.
One, two, three, four. 2, 3, mother.
Just wait.
Dude,
just
he's
wait.
killing it.
Watch him. And then the Roots join
Oh, yo, they're dirty too.
Oh.
Just going off sound too. Dude, he's great.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, who's watching Jack Black on the pod? No one else but us. That's all I'm saying.
in. Jack
We-
Black will post videos of him dancing on his Instagram
Dude, he's just
In a
living
speed.
life.
1, 2, 3. That's
He's
the
a
best part.
he's a guy just
he
enjoying
goes 1,
fucking
2,
life, man.
3, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's just having fucking fun, man. He's one of those guys when you're out that's just going up to you, hey, you having a good time? He's one of those guys.
Yeah,
you know what
shout
I'm
out
saying?
Jack Black.
Shout out Jack Black.
Yo, Jack Black, if you're watching the pod, comment, subscribe,
Imagine we had
like. Come on the
Tenacious
show,
D.
please.
We'd
Imagine
love
we
to
had
have you.
Tenacious D on the fucking
Hey,
pod.
we are looking for a new live
Damn,
band.
We're doing a new live fucking band.
Sorry, guys.
We cannot pay the money that they deserve,
good
though.
one.
They deserve all the money in the world, and I sell it.
Oh, speaking of Jack Black, there he is.
Hey, don't call him Jack Black. That's not nice. No,
Buffalo just signed Hardy.
no way.
Oh, breaking news!
Wait,
breaking
who?
news!
Deontay Hardy.
Oh,
No
shout out
way.
Deontay Hardy, Buffalo
2
Bills.
years, 13 mil.
Wow.
Damn, Skeet with the facts.
Wow,
Skeet
breaking-
dropping breaking
Breaking
news.
Pete.
Was he on the Saints before?
He was on the Saints
Breaking.
before.
Oh, Nacho
Oh,
Libre,
Nacho
how
Li-
could we forget?
How can we forget?
How could we
The
forget?
icon.
With stretchy pants.
The icon.
I was just thinking of the other day.
man.
Ramsey is number 1.
Oh my God, Nacho Libre was
Nacho Libre
goated.
is
Still goated.
He's like,
One of
Sister
the-
Encarnacion.
Would you like to join me in my quarters later for some toast?
Oh my god, he's great.
And then he's like telling the kid why he likes being a monk. He's like, I love it. It's the best.
It's the best. Damn, no, he's so goated, man. He's goated.
Yes, sir.
That movie is so
That's so funny because I literally just watched School of Rock recently. Oh man, that's great. And Miranda Cosgrove was in it. She was so young.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, all the
Drake
kids
and Josh.
when they did the reunion, they were still
Yep.
shredding on their instruments, like fucking dirty, nice with it. Everyone was nice with it. It was dope. It was fun to watch.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend giving that a
Greatest
watch.
band of all time.
You're a fat loser and a patrioda.
And Jack Black
was
is
that
like,
the little kid that chirped him?
Yeah.
yeah, when they're all like
that's
flaming him.
The drummer,
Yeah,
right?
That was the
No,
that was
he
the
does the
piano. It was the
keyboard.
piano
He does the
guy.
the
Yeah,
keyboard. The keyboard.
that was the guy that chirped his ass.
and after he says that, Jack Black is like, okay.
Yeah, he's like
He was like, that one hurt, but
he's like, yeah,
God.
all of you just like stick it to the man right now, and he's, I'm the man. Like he's like, yeah, you're fat.
Yeah, so they're like,
fat
you're
loser, you
stupid.
stink.
You're tacky
annoying.
and I hate you.
Yeah, the little guy's like, you're tacky and I hate you. And he was like, okay, we've moved on from flaming me right now.
Oh man, oh that's great. Dude.
Classic.
Good movie. Good
Oh,
movie,
but
good quality
18.
stuff.
I wanted, because you brought up the idea of hookup culture in the car. I wanted to get your opinion. I want to get both of your guys' opinion. I know Andrew Tate has been a very polarizing character going around right now. I mean, for a while. And I feel like he kind of fits in that system of hookup culture, I guess, maybe.
Is
Kinda
he
like-
not sex trafficking women? That is something different. Completely.
Is that confirmed he was doing that?
Well, he was arrested for
I
it.
didn't know
so
that.
there's suspicion at least.
Suspicion.
And that's
Oh,
not
I
hookup
don't-
culture,
shit.
babe. That is
Well,
felony.
I didn't know about that, so strike that
That's
from the
prison
record.
culture.
Strike that from the record.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that. I thought
Like a sex ring or like something like that, yeah.
I did not know that. But what I
Him
mean,
and his brother. I think.
prior to whatever that was going on, let's say that's not happening, hypothetically.
See, this is what I'm saying, Randy. You need to know about these topics. You are in
That's on me,
this
that's
much
on
of
me.
pop culture.
That's on me. I can't.
You
stay below the
gotta
radar.
keep your toe
18.
in everything. So
No,
you know
you're right, you're
that
right. I
Andrew
gotta keep
Tate
my-
he's more than polarizing.
I gotta keep my ear to the streets. You're right. You're right.
He's
But,
straight up controversial.
fumbled
But I also
Ah.
heard that they are like it was false. But I don't know what to
think
believe.
Being
but
arrested for sex trafficking in
No,
any
yeah.
sense, it's like
You don't. Yeah. If you get arrested,
people
like,
have that attitude about
They
you.
got something
then
on
there's
you, you know
some
what I mean?
reason to have that
Right.
attitude about you.
Yep.
Also, based on like what he has said, the information that has put out there, like a lot of things that he has said is like damaging, I think, to young people.
Well, that's what I was
I
going to
think-
ask. Like, how does that affect the culture? Because I feel like he did fit in that area of like pickup culture and things like that. So, like, how do you think that like is affecting
He
a lot
is
of things?
misogynistic.
Okay.
He doesn't respect women.
Mm-hmm.
He also
So-
You
definitely
know,
what's it called? Incriminated himself a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't watch much of Andrew Tate and what he puts out, but the things I've seen a few things, and the things I've seen, like, there's some things I agree with where he just kind of motivates men to like focus on
He
themselves.
says smart
like,
things, but then
Take
he
care of
also
yourself,
says
like work out, like focus
Yeah.
on your career, get an education. Like
he's a very smart
things that
guy,
are
but-
blatant and like obviously gets in that area. But then like I remember him seeing a video one time where he's like every morning I ask my girlfriend to make me 2 cups of coffee and I only drink 1. Just to like make her do the extra one. I was like, why?
Right, see, so it's stuff like that.
Like, he just did it as like a test to like make her do what he wants. And like, hey, that's late. You got to ride her time, but like you were gonna make her waste a cup of coffee for like. No
And
reason.
why do you
I guess
have
it doesn't
to?
matter
Why
to
does
him,
she
but,
need
like-
to be tested in that way?
I was dying laughing watching this. He was like on a podcast telling someone. I was like, what?
But this is what I'm saying. Like,
I
he,
was
to
like,
his
people like
core,
agree with that. Like, I don't know. That was funny to me.
he to his core is a misogynistic person, and that is damaging to society. Like, we're trying to we're trying to take steps for women in the workplace, how women are treated in relationships. I think the culture around relationships right now is like kind of weird. Like, I don't even really know.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
And
I
it
think
also
that's just because
it
no one knows
teaches
what to
young
do.
men that like you don't have to respect women. You can just like give her that extra work because it doesn't matter.
But people
And
forget.
you know what? It doesn't matter that he says smart things like take care of yourself, get an education, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there are doctors out here that are racist people, and there are lawyers out here that are bigoted in some way. You know what I
Fair.
mean? So
Police officers, absolutely. So while they do great things and say great things and are smart, they are also bad people because of their values.
No, I think that's a good point, and I think it seems like you definitely feel like very strongly about it. Like,
Because
I think it
it's-
makes
I
sense.
mean-
No, yeah, I mean,
From my perspective as a woman, I'm like, I'm not even gonna laugh because that's fucking bullshit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's annoying because, like, yeah, like, I feel like this is sort of like the sentiment that a lot of black people try to express is like, I know, like, with entitlement and white privilege and all this, it's like, but you don't know and you will never know what it's like.
Yep.
So for you even to act like you can relate in any way, or, you know, that you're better than me because X, Y, and Z, like, you will never know the struggle that I go through. So when it comes to, like, feminist stuff and misogyny and, you know, how women are treated in society, like, yeah, I take it to heart because I'm like, that directly impacts me.
yeah.
Yep.
No, definitely. I think, you know, is there an other side of the spectrum of an Andrew Tate that's like, oh, a girl? I don't really know much, but like, can you think of anyone that kind of
That's
Yes.
like a
The voice of
that's
feminism.
like the equivalent, I guess?
not that, I mean, you know, I think women just respond to the energy that they get from men. So there's not one woman who is so extremist in your face about
Mm-hmm.
in this way that Andrew Tate is.
Yeah.
But women are out here being like, fuck these dudes, fuck
Yeah,
these
yeah,
dudes, these dudes ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. Because that's just the energy, because y'all act like you ain't shit, so you ain't shit.
I do remember one time on a Barstool
That's a bar.
podcast.
That's a bar.
Where they had I don't know who she was, but they had some girl on where they like, you guys might see it, where she talks about how like she like got in a relationship with a guy like strictly to just break his heart, and like was like cool with that, and like I think that's a little like
That's crazy
Well,
too.
there
That's
are
crazy
people-
too.
misleading that like people
There
would
are
say that.
people out there like that, but she is not on a platform like Andrew Tate is.
Right.
She's not
Well,
influencing
Barstool's
people like
pretty
Andrew Tate.
big, but like
But
I see what you're
she's
saying. I see what you're
not getting
saying.
on a podcast every week and promoting
And doing the
you
same
know,
thing. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so
yeah, because I don't really know who she
that's
is,
not
but I know
equivalent
who
at
he is.
all.
No, that's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just trying to see like, is there like people advocating for each side, but just like they're so extreme that it hurts that side. You see what I'm saying? I think like that's the problem of being so divisive, is that
Yeah,
you
I
go
think
to
a
one.
lot of women have a really negative opinion about men and will express that because of
But don't you think everyone
how
has,
men
like-
act.
But don't you think everyone
Yep.
has a negative opinion about like everyone in general? I feel like it's super
What do you mean-
divisive.
What do
Like
you mean by everyone?
everyone's already super like against each other. Don't you think? In general.
Yeah, I do
Because the
think
higher
people are.
You know what I
power
mean?
But-
pins
And then
pins
plus
each other.
more so against like towards like, you know, races and genders and for no reason. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's already just like against everyone for some weird reason.
Society is
Makes
divided
it-
in many
yeah.
ways.
And it makes it easier to attack, you know, by being impartial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the only difference is when women attack men, it's not as impactful because men are already in a position of power. So when black people, you know, say things against, you know, the actions of white people are already at the advantage. So
I see
to
what
a
you're
certain
saying,
extent,
yeah.
like, it doesn't even matter what they say, or sometimes it can feel like that.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
the woman is already in, you know, because of the way society is built, the woman is already at the disadvantage. So in this conversation, like, I can say fuck a guy all day long, but a man could say fuck me, and that would have more of an impact.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And
Society-
to put it in a simple, you know, way.
Yeah.
Society
think-
is twisted.
I think this stems a lot from just like personal insecurities and like everyone having
What?
I think everyone has like such personal insecurities that they project on everyone else, and like that's why everyone
Yeah, well, that's why
You know
we
what I
talk
mean?
about like
I think everyone-
toxic masculinity.
right. I feel like everyone's got to get secure
Yep.
with themselves, and then like
Ty, what do you think of toxic masculinity?
Like
As
define
you know, because
that. Like exactly.
when I
Like,
think
know what
about
it-
you and your experience as like a collegiate athlete, for example,
yeah. Do you
That's a
feel
good
like
point.
there was an attitude about just the culture of football that was maybe damaging to a man's, self-image?
Yeah,
I bet
I
pros and cons, no?
yeah, definitely pros and cons.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not even with image, but well, yeah, I would say to an extent image, because especially in the college football world where the coaches, like, I had good coaches, but for the most part, like, the coaches don't really care about you. They're just trying to advance in their career, especially D2 level. No coach is gonna get there and be like, "Oh, I finally made it D2. Like, let's go." Like, they're trying to use you as a tool to advance their career.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically like a toy for the coaches. And like at one point, like, me and my teammates like felt that.
Yeah.
And like that's the reality of it. Like, you're still playing football. It's still fun. It's still awesome, but it's like, to an extent, you are controlled by them. So that part of it is, it doesn't really tie into toxic masculinity, but
well, what about
things like
just
making you gain weight.
Yeah.
That you gain weight for your position. I know a lot of kids who stop playing, like, quit,
Well, I think
because they didn't want to gain that much weight, like get super big and heavy.
I think she mean, like, how does that affect amongst, like, your peers? Like, what's the peer community like?
How does it affect, how you see yourself as a man, or how does it define manhood in a negative way, if any? Because it's like the toxic aspect of it is like, I have to act a certain way to be respected, or I have to do certain things to be respected that aren't necessarily really important when it gets down to it. Like, do you think anything was like that?
Yeah, and I definitely think it was a lot more prevalent when I was like a freshman, sophomore, like earlier in my collegiate career, because I don't know, but by the time like we were seniors and we're all like, we've known each other, lived with each other for 4 years, like shared a locker room, everything, like that close knit group of guys is like, we were on the same page, and it was like no one was judging you. It wasn't like, everyone was like brothers literally at that point. So in that aspect, like, that's the side of football that like everyone is together, no matter, race, shape, size, color, speed, anything. Like, there's a spot, no matter what you can do, there's a spot for you on the team. And there's a way that you can like give to the team, you know what I mean? Even if you're on the bench, you can cheer as loud as you can. But definitely freshman, sophomore year was like, you saw the toxic masculinity side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like, because you are in the locker room trying to like, feel out the new, like, you're new to everyone on the team, so you're trying to feel it out, and you just don't know people, so you don't know how. I mean, you guys know how it is, like,
Yeah.
in a situation where you don't know what's going on. And then football.
So what do you think about, I don't know, I guess it's like, I feel like in football there's a certain type of man that is a football player. So did you ever encounter like a out of the box,
like, you
type
have to fit
of
an
guy?
archetype is what you're saying?
Yeah, like the archetype of a football player,
Mhm.
like that image of a football player. Like, do you find that to be toxic? Do you feel like kids who don't necessarily fit that, like, are not as accepted in amongst a team? Like, have you ever experienced that?
I think when it's the team, it comes down to just like, if you're giving it your all, you'll be accepted. But I do see what you're saying with
You have to fit a mold.
you have to fit a mold of like the type of person, but there's a whole different type of like plethora of type of people playing.
I think it's definitely
and
diverse.
that's what I definitely
I think more so. I mean, I think we're in an era where it's gotten way more progressive. But I think like definitely eras before us, there was probably a certain, like you said, like characteristic you probably kind of needed to fit a little bit, and
like
if you weren't that, you try to be that. But now it's like.
Right.
Like when we were in high school, dude, we were doing plays. Like we weren't doing we were atypical. You know what I mean? We were doing like that's why I didn't believe in a hierarchy or cliques or like groups, because I feel like we were cool. I feel like I was cool to everybody we talked to, like no matter, like even if we didn't do a sport or an activity together, like I think I was just trying to be cool with everybody. You know what I mean? Like I had no problems with nobody.
So how about this? Like, do you think
some people can
the attitude towards athletes that maybe the school will give you, especially at the college level when you are, sort of providing a service to the school almost.
Yep.
So the way that they put you up and the way that they treat you, for some kids that could give
Gives you
them
an
a
ego.
big head, give
Yeah.
them an ego, and that could be damaging. So do you feel like that is something that is true?
Yes.
But is that toxic masculinity, or is that just toxic in general?
Well, that's more of a societal standard, and that's going back to misogyny, how men are just sort of put up, but athletes specifically.
Yeah, I think if we're talking athletes specifically, I think 100%. Like, how can you not let that get to your head at such a young age? Like, that's so hard, because like, if you look back, like, even to like, you're 21, right?
I'm 22.
You're 22, yeah. So like, even if you look back a year ago, like imagine a year ago, you're like your senior year of collegiate ball, like, but say you're balling D1, killing it, like making some sponsors, making some ched, like, how do you not like?
But even D2, just amongst the school, amongst the campus.
That's a good point. Yeah, how do you not let it get to your head? Whatever perks or things were given to you.
Just humble yourself. I don't know, like.
Do you feel like
at that, but
do you feel like you were treated any differently, any better than other students?
Like priority?
There were definitely professors who liked football players, but I think there are more professors who didn't like football players because of what you're saying. Like they thought they got better treatment. They didn't like football players because of like the way other people treat them, basically. Like they weren't going to treat them better. They're going to treat them worse.
They didn't like football
maybe.
players because of how other people treated them, or they didn't like football players because of how they acted based on the way other people treated them.
That, yeah. But probably, yes.
Probably both. Yeah.
For sure.
Especially
combination of things, but there's definitely, yes, I see, like what you said definitely happens, but on the flip side, like there's definitely,
well, there's exceptions to every rule. So,
yeah,
like a football player who's just a good kid who happens to play football, could be,
but also
stereotyped or
it depends on
typecasted by
it depends on the culture of the team and the school. Because honestly, I felt like Assumption had a very good culture of people. First of all, the team wouldn't recruit a player if they didn't think they would fit as a person with the team at the school. And also, you kind of get weeded out. Like, people can see right through, like, you got a big head, like, especially if it's like a freshman, sophomore, a younger kid trying to say something. Like the upperclassmen, like they don't have to say anything. Like they'll just handle on the field.
Yeah.
Like that's, like, you will get served, like guaranteed. Unless you're actually that good as a freshman, you'll get served. And if you are that good, and you are gonna be, like, you should be on the level of,
not to talk like that anyway.
Exactly. Like, you're gonna get weeded out if it goes to your head too much.
So now let me ask you this.
for
Ask away.
friends that maybe you had in high school that went to a different school for football, that maybe had a different culture at their school, did you ever see a difference? What are you doing, Randy?
In
Oh, my
terms
bad. I
of
got sauce. I got lost in the sauce.
toxic masculinity.
Or maybe not as far as that, but just like having a big head, or bragging, or maybe just doing too much because the culture of their school maybe was you can be an asshole and it's all right because you're a football player, just flat out.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to see it firsthand, kind of like be there. Looking from the outside, looking into another school, like it's hard to really say how they're treated, like on campus, and like how they act, because they could act like a totally different person when they're with the boys, and
That's
then with
true.
like people will have like
Your
separate
mask versus your
lives.
true self. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's facts. And
But
I don't know. Who's got that energy for that though?
mask
Right.
on, fuck it, mask off.
Yeah, legit,
Mask
right? Just
on.
like fuck the
Mask
mask.
off.
Fuck the mask. But I think, yeah, I mean, I think they're it's an over exaggerated push in the media to make people accentuate themselves, like you know what I mean, like augment themselves, like make them an over exaggerated version of themselves. And it's like, I don't know why we push that. I think like,
Right. It's like
you just
everybody's
gotta
a
be
character.
you. Right, like people
Yeah.
were saying like, yeah, you gotta be super aggressive, super this, like make my girl 2 coffees, all this stuff, like whatever it is, like all this extra shit. And it's like, I don't think you need to be so extra. I think that's like the biggest thing with any toxic thing is like everyone's like, be extra with this, be extra with that. And it's like, I don't know why we have to do that. And I don't know why people listen to that. I mean, because the people that listen to it are just impressionable, because
Yeah.
they're at such a young age where they're begging, looking for someone to guide them.
And
Give-
everybody wants to feel, included
Yeah.
and feel like they belong.
You know, and that's
So-
what I'm saying. I think the majority just wants to fucking have someone to guide them, someone they can look up to, someone like a Superman figure, right? And it's like
Yeah.
Andrew Tate right now is that Superman figure, and I can see why that's dangerous because of some things.
And it makes it hard for you to make decisions for yourself when it really comes down to it. Like, you can agree with someone a lot of the time and think what they are saying is facts, but you can also disagree with things that they say too and form your own opinion, you know?
Exactly. That's
Yep.
people follow wholeheartedly, and that's the problem. Like that's why, like in high school, I read the book 1984. I think that's so important for kids to read that in high school, because that is the full scope of totalitarianism, where people tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, exactly like dictatorship type shit. And it's like, and people didn't even think about like having a thought process of their own of like, is this is just life for us? Like, this is how we have to live? Like, people just accepted it instead of
Some people are
pushing
like
against
that.
the matrix type thing, right? And it's like, that's why, like, always question everything, always think for yourself, because like you may think like there's some things like I used to think were right, and like I look back now, I'm like, damn, that's wrong. Like, I can't listen to R. Kelly no more. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. That's not true, but you know what I mean. But like, there's like that's the
That
thing,
is
like,
true.
That is true.
Yeah, he
But, like,
took it too far.
That is true.
He's
but
done.
Yeah, he is done. But that's what I'm saying is like there's some things that like that grow and change, and you just got to be able to keep constantly like being self-aware, open-minded. Like, just
faces change.
like we just changes.
They're gonna be a richer one. Time may change me, but I could change time.
But isn't that like such a full circle though? We literally just talked about this shit on the pod, where
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you always got to be self-aware and like open-minded. Like, it's good to have someone to look up to. Like that, like I look up to. I feel like I try to like inundate myself with good role models and stuff. But they're even such good role models where like I still question like, oh, like should they be doing that?
Is Andrew
that
Tate
something-
a role model to you?
I don't watch him, so I can't say. All I can say is like I
I would
think he's
hope that
divisive.
the answer is no.
I-
Role model is crazy.
Right.
To call that
right.
man a role model
just
is
can't,
crazy.
I just can't speak on it because I don't know enough about it. But like, I just know that like he helps in some ways, but doesn't in others. And it's like, I don't know how you toe that line. I think it's just like, you have a platform and people listen to you. And and like, here's the
learn
thing,
how to be less hateful. That's how you toe the line. Like
Spread peace, love, and
But
joy
like you just said, T-Back,
through life.
it's like a mask. Well, what if he's wearing a mask? What if he's trying to make
Tranquility.
you think he is a certain way when in reality he's not like that? I don't know.
It doesn't matter because
No,
he's still
he's
putting
still
that
putting it out there.
information
He's still
out
putting that
there,
energy out
and
there, and
that's
I
what
get
people are
that.
consuming.
Right. That's what I'm saying is like, is he just?
He wasn't helping his cause.
Right.
Like for the position he's in now, he completely destroyed his cause the entire time.
I get it, Hundo P. I totally get it, and like, yeah, that's all I'm saying is like, that's what I question, right? Is like, are these people who they truly are, or are they playing a role? Because nowadays you don't know, and it's like, I don't pay attention. Like the reason why I'm so out of pop culture is because like I just don't want to. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of bullshit surrounding it, so I just like stay below the radar.
That's exactly
with it,
why we say
you know what I
like
mean?
make your own decision. Like you can consume media, but you don't have to think anything of it. You don't have to apply that
I
to
stay on
your
the good
everyday
side.
life. You don't have to like consume that. But it is good to be aware because then you're saying things about Andrew Tate and not knowing that he's was arrested for sexual trafficking, sex trafficking. Like you know what I mean?
I don't even know. I don't watch enough, and I know enough to say like I think it's just dangerous in general when people have like such an extreme view of anything. Like I think like it's so hard, like that there are politics where like you have to be so extreme on one side or the other, and like that so extreme is so bad because life in nature is a balance. Like biologically, naturally, there's a balance to life. There's a perfect ecosystem, perfect predator prey, all this stuff that balances life out in a certain way, right? Where if something gets taken out or gets fucked up, it fucks everything up, right? There's a balance. So that's what I've always kind of like tried to like. That's why I'm a big fence person. People call me the fence guy because I literally just sit on the fence and like I legit like just because life is a balance thing where like you if you're too one way or the other, that's dangerous to me. I think that's flawed. I think like you can never be so extreme about something because like we just talked about, things are always constantly changing, adapting. You got to be able to adjust.
Can't be
like,
too high, can't be too low.
Can't be too high, can't be too fucking low. T-Back,
But
thank you. As we talked about before.
But indecision can also leave you feeling unbalanced as
Fair,
well.
fair. Like I agree, but like I think in everything in life, like there's a perfect balance. Like I think like if we're talking about divisiveness, like if Andrew Tate's like saying she's gotta make me 2 coffees, like that's like too excited, like too extreme on one side, or like someone saying like, oh, you got to simp, or like whatever like the other spectrum is. I don't know. I'm just saying like you got to find that middle ground where it's like there's sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles, where maybe sometimes you got to pick a little more, be assertive, you know.
Sometimes
assert
one and a half
dominance.
coffee.
Or sometimes you gotta let your guard down a little bit, be a little passive, you know. Like there's got to be times where you gotta, you know, balance the line. In my opinion, you know what I mean. You got to be able to be both. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying myself, but I'm just saying I think you just got to be in the middle, pick and choose your battles. Like you said, make a decision when you have to. Don't compromise, though. Like, just be you.
No.
You know.
But, well, I mean, yeah, don't compromise who you are.
Who you are, exactly. Not compromise with people. Like, don't be a scumbag.
Right.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
relation
Compromise with
to
people.
relationships or whatever, like, compromise is how you make things work.
That's the number one.
Because everyone is different. Everyone's going to have
Yes.
their own opinion. And so to be open-minded and to be open to a compromise is important. Like, that's how you make stuff work.
Right. Like, T-Back, T-Back and I, we were supposed to get a little more filming, editing done on Sunday it was. But my sister had a situation with her mans where they got in a little fight. And so she was a little upset. So I hung out with her. We went to the movies. It was a good time. But
Good
yeah,
brother.
I was just...
Great brother. Shouts.
Hey.
Give it up for him,
Hey, no,
please.
she's a great sister. She paid for the movie and everything. It was sick. So I paid for the popcorn, though. But it's cool. But
you get the-
Compromise, see?
Compromise.
That's a compromise.
Look at that. But yeah, so I was just like
Yes,
talking to her
sir.
about like her situation, where her situation was just like she's got wants and needs, and he's got wants and needs. They got things they got to do, and like, you know, you got to meet that compromise. And I was just telling her like, you know, you gotta say like, I think like people attack too much. People like pointing fingers and playing blame, and they're facing each other when it's not like that. It's you versus the problem. And I was like clearly
Right.
you got this XYZ insecurity, he's got this XY insecurity. You got to be open-minded enough to realize where he's coming from, why he's got the insecurities, and he's got to have the same deal. And then you guys got to come together and say, okay, how can we secure these?
Well, also
Is what I'm
circling
saying.
back to toxic masculinity, sometimes people are not able to speak on it. Sometimes men, more so, I would say, have a hard time expressing themselves.
I think a lot of people in general, like you said on the pod, like the last pod, we got a little deep. You were kind of talking about how people struggle to get into deep emotions with themselves because it's scary to them and they don't know how. And like,
and society is telling men that you have to be tough and you can't be emotional and this and this and that.
yeah.
So it's even more difficult for
Right.
like a man to like tap into that sometimes.
right. I think society is telling people in general to be a certain way instead of just like being you and like opening up and like explaining exactly what you need. Like, not like people like to play these games and make 2 coffees, whatever it is, and like just say like, hey, I'm insecure about this. How can we make it so we're secure?
Right.
And I know you're insecure, like, and also be open-minded that these other people, whatever is going on, why there's a difference, have their own insecurities about what's going on too. So say, hey, I'm insecure about this, you're insecure about that. I want us to be secure about those things.
Yeah.
So why can't we work together to make that, compromise that together?
Yeah, and if that person doesn't then receive that,
Then that's when you have to hitch your wagon to a new
you gotta
trailer.
rethink, you know?
These
Hitch your
parables.
wagon
Hitch your
to a
wagon to a
new
new trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're back on the parable game, but whatever it is. But like, no, it's for real though. Like, that's basically what I told her. I was like, you got, and like, if that's the case, like, you can never be afraid to walk away, and you can never like beg some. Yeah, we have been going for a while,
I
but
was
like,
just looking, yeah.
I want to like just say like, you can never beg someone to stay either. Like, even if you love them, you want them. Like, if they gotta go, they gotta go. If they're not, it's not here. It's not here. Like, you gotta be able. You gotta be able to willing to say like, hey, yeah, this hurts me, but like, you know, I know you gotta go, so I'm gonna go too. You'll be fine. I'll be fine. Like, don't make it a big deal. Like, be as diplomatic as you can be in any of those situations. Because when you let emotions, you know, I was just telling her like, she's an emotional person. I overheard their problem a little bit because they were getting a little loud, and like no one should ever bring you to that point where you got to get loud. You know what I mean? That's when you got to check yourself. Like,
If
we
they're
talk
working
about,
you
I don't
up,
want to talk
it's-
right now. If that's the thing, if you're getting worked up, I don't want to talk right now. I need some minutes to myself to get my shit together, and then we'll come back to this. Like, I gotta fix this now before I go to bed because I'm going to bed angry. Like, no, give your like that. You don't need to fix your problems in 2 seconds. Like, get out of your own way. Your problem's gonna fix themselves. Like, you got to get out of your own way in life sometimes. And like, that's just pretty much what I was telling her. Like, give yourself some space to figure it out, and like, say what I said. Just like, fix your insecurities, make you guys feel secure about that. And like, yeah, if they don't reciprocate, then you need to be okay with letting them go.
Yeah.
You cannot, if someone stays where they don't want to be. And like, I was telling her, I was like, Alexi, like, if I was holding on to your arm, you were trying to get away from me, and I was holding on, I wouldn't let you leave, you would fucking hate me, right? You'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Right.
So
Yep.
you doing that to someone is the same thing. Like, please stay, please don't leave. Like, that's the same thing. If they want to leave, they want to leave. Don't like do that.
It's like the old parable.
Boundaries.
the old parables. So
The dog tied to the truck.
Exactly. That's where it all ties back down to. So I was just telling her, like, listen, you know, show love,
Go
like,
with the
be
flow,
there
man.
for him, because obviously he's got insecurities too, but also you have insecurities as well, and speak on those as well, and then find ways to get secure about it and see it through their actions. And if their actions don't show, then clearly you got your answer, and you need to be okay that, you know, you're on a short memory, on to the next play, because
On
it's
to
all
the
it is.
next one. On to the next
play, man.
On to the
And
next.
I don't know. I hope it resonated with her. It's just funny because my sister's a little older than me, and you know, you would think like she's probably been here before, but it's you can be here before and still let your emotions get a hold of you, and like, you got to have your emotions on a strong check, on a strong leash, because emotions are fucking powerful.
If you never like make a change,
rock bottom, right?
It's gonna be the same thing.
Exactly. Like,
Facts.
if you don't make a change, if you don't realize that, like, I told her, like, the way you've been going about it, it's clearly not been working, right? Clearly nothing's going your way. So that clearly means the way you've been going about it, it's not working. So you got to change your approach. You got to switch it up. You got to do something different. And like, that's the thing, is like, some people will hit rock bottom and they won't change. That's the thing, is like, do you change? Like, you did this bad thing, but do you recognize what's going on? Like, do you change? Changes.
Well, Ty, you were a relationship man.
Yeah.
I am in a relationship. Shout out, Gavin. Love you.
Shouts, Gab. Shouts.
So, did you ever struggle to express yourself, and have you improved upon that since?
Yeah, and it's a constant struggle. Well, not a struggle, but
Battle, you know.
it's when I just, you know, grew up not expressing or talking about my feelings a lot. So now, if my girlfriend wants to talk about my feelings, I gotta
tap
It's
into that.
I gotta tap into that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Facts.
So, you gotta tap into that and just say what you're feeling. Like, there's a lot of times where I just don't say things because I don't know. That's just the way
they
I
haven't
am.
invented the words. I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
I was in a point too. Like, I feel like now I'm able to talk my feelings so much because I'm in a better headspace and I understand my feelings more than I used to. But like back then, like same thing. I didn't know how to express what I was feeling. You know what I mean? Like I would be, discomfort about something, right? And I wouldn't know how to express it, so I'd lash out because like all I know is like my parents fighting. My parents used to fight a lot, and like that's just how I thought you handled shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I didn't know how to, because they didn't invent I didn't invent the fucking words of what was going on inside my brain. So I couldn't. I acted poorly. I moved incorrectly, and like now it's just like it's cool in a way. Nowadays it's cool in a way to know your emotions, control your emotions, have a check on those things, have a hold on that, have a check on yourself, have a filter.
Yeah.
And like now that I can recognize that, I feel like now it's like so much simpler to me to be, like recognize that like. Here's this problem. Here's that problem. There's that insecurity. This insecurity. Let's correct that. Let's secure this. Let's figure this out. And like, if you can't do it, I know I can. But if you can't, then that's okay. That's another time.
But I think Ty is good at keeping himself in check, but he
Always.
doesn't express himself. Like if he had an overwhelming emotion, like he won't say anything.
They haven't invented the words yet. He's waiting on him for them to invent the words.
No, he's just not saying nothing because he doesn't think. It's just not him.
Have they invented the words yet, Ty?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
do you feel like you understand your emotions, or do you think about your emotions at all, or like how you feel or why?
like, what do you mean? Like,
well, we know Randy is an evaluator, and so am I. He's a considerer,
No.
a contemplator.
He's gonna.
He mulls
I'm an
things
overthinker.
over.
He's gonna get
But
sweaty with his breakdown of things.
Right. He breaks it down, which there's
People fucking need it because I wish I had someone that did that for me, dude. I had a fucking grind to figure it out, and like, there's no
Right.
role models out there. There's no Andrew Tate out there that's saying what I'm saying. That's just saying like you gotta fucking.
Let's stop referring to
secure
him
your
as
shit.
a role model.
Yeah, my
Stop.
bad. No, there's no Superman out there explaining, and I'm not comparing myself to these people, by the way.
There's no
I'm just
podcast
saying.
host
Yeah, like
other than Randy the Boy.
there are some people that give you bits and pieces, but they don't explain like the steps you got to go through, where you have to mentally course correct and things like that, like things
So
that you.
do you think you do that, Ty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I just try to be in check. Like, it's not like if something goes wrong, it's not that's causing your emotion to be angry or to be mad or to be sad. You are causing that emotion.
Facts. Only you can control you.
Like, think about it.
And let shit bother
Everything you see is literally just a projection of your brain.
It might not even be real.
Think about it. It's the same. It's a dream.
It's a simulation.
When you go, why do you think dreams seem so
feel
real?
fucking real.
Because it's a projection of your brain.
Yes.
The same exact thing.
And yeah, it's
So
You wake up, you
now-
don't know where you're at.
Now I ask, do you think there's power in allowing yourself to, like, do you think there's any benefits to just allowing yourself to feel things and validating that you are sad, you are hurt, you are angry?
100%.
Do you think there's power in expressing that?
100%.
How are you expressing it, I guess? Like, what do you mean by
Well,
expressing?
so based on what you just said, it's like, if I am sad about something, I'm going to cry. But based on what you say, you're like, you shouldn't let yourself cry. But do you think that if you just cry it out, that can be, some people think it's therapeutic.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying more so because I do think, yes, crying, I think there's times where it can be therapeutic. Or, like, it's better to let your emotions out than hold them in.
Right.
But
In a healthy way.
in a healthy way. You don't want,
Yeah.
like, say
Don't be
I don't
putting
know.
your problems and emotions on other people. Like if you gotta sit in the car, listen to fucking I Fall Apart by Post Malone and fucking cry and just and, you know what I mean? Fucking you know, get it out. That's fine, you know. And like that's good. Like get that negative energy out. Like you can't if you gotta cry, you gotta fucking cry. You wanna know why? Because that means you got some deep negative shit that you need to release out of you. I don't after I cry,
But
I
if
feel
you step
fucking
on my
amazing.
Yeah,
I feel
do feel
fucking
better.
great. I feel like so much energy because I feel like you got that negative shit out. You fucking laugh it off.
Yeah, you
You're
expelled
fucking
it
back,
and you
baby.
move
Let's
forward.
go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you got rid of some fucking demons right there. That you just got to fucking get rid of. And I think
Definitely.
like there's nothing wrong with that. Like you
But-
gotta fucking
but-
cry, dude. I'll
yeah,
fucking cry in
what's-
front of anybody, dude. Don't give a fuck.
What you're saying, like when people have
Like if someone's
toxic emotions.
yeah, if someone steps on my foot, like
Yeah.
I'm not
Ow.
gonna just be like
Ow.
I'm not gonna just attack the guy.
No,
Right.
I'm gonna
that's
be-
extreme as fuck. Again,
Well,
balance,
yeah.
balance, no
Balance,
extremes,
right.
no extremes, just balanced. People like balanced people. You know what I mean? I think that's important.
It's like gymnastics on
It's
the
like
balance
gymnastics.
beam. You know?
Exactly.
Wow,
right.
everything is just
Full
tying into
circle.
everything
It's just
right
a
now.
vice, dude. It's just literally everything. I'm
The
telling
circle
you.
of
Because
vice.
we
You find the
are
connections.
balanced,
Balanced. The vice.
We're
Vice
balanced, intelligent,
creative.
creative, and energizing.
I was gonna say exciting.
Yes. I love it.
We'll work on it.
Hey, plenty of ways
Balanced is definitely the B
we
though.
can. Balance is the B, 100%. Beef.
Balance.
No, B is beef.
Beef. Balance. in-
Yo.
I
for real,
got
though.
beef.
Vice, vice, no, vice should stand.
With all my flaws.
Iconic. Vice
Oh
should
my
stand for
God.
balance is the center of everything.
Nadine. How did you just come up with that?
I don't know.
Balance.
It's just
is-
And then there's a small T right in between the I and the C. Just
No.
small. Vice is the balance. Yeah.
Ba-
Balance is the center.
balance the center of everything.
Damn, that's crazy town.
balance
That was
is
quick as
center
shit,
of
too.
everything.
That was quick as shit. That was off top. Damn.
Hey, stay balanced.
But
From the
hey,
top
I
rope.
mean,
Hey, we're one day smarter.
we're one day
One
smarter.
day better.
100%.
We're
day
one
better.
pod
Yeah.
smarter now.
I don't know. I guess we've been going for a minute. So how do you want to wrap this up? Just like what can we tell these people, 18? Like what's the way to fix this toxicity going on? Give us a little quick conclusion and we'll wrap up.
I think being true to yourself is important, but also being aware of your flaws and being open to constructive criticism on that. It's really hard to hear that there's negative things about you, but maybe there's something to that. And so sometimes you need to listen to that. You need to listen to how other people feel. You need to be mindful of that. That's how you stay balanced. Like, you don't want people treating you like shit, so you don't treat other people like shit. And just,
And
you
you
know,
should listen
Facts,
to the Vice in the Back
facts.
podcast as
Exactly.
well.
Most
where
important.
we
Yes.
talk about this. No, facts. 18, everything you said is facts. Same
Wear
thing.
your
Self-awareness, open-minded, understanding everyone's perspective as well as yourselves, controlling your emotions, checking yourself, all that stuff. Like having that filter.
and I think
so
everybody
important.
could just like ease up. Like,
Ease off.
don't be so uptight about, anything. Like,
Facts.
nothing matters.
Nothing matters. Do not be
Nothing
overly
really
passionate.
matters.
That's a great point. I don't understand how people are so overly passionate about certain
Nothing
things.
really
Like,
matters.
I think I'm envious of.
Anyone can see.
Nothing really matters to me.
And on that note,
Thank you.
Fuck.
most importantly, don't ever forget, you're always riding shoddy with the vicer in the back.
Let's go. Hey,
Yes,
that's a wrap.
sir.
Are we
Let's
walking on this?
Give it up. Give it up.
Hey, shouts Queenie for coming back. And
Hey.
being on
Thank
the
you for
pod.
having me,
Thank
as
you.
Thank you
Always.
everyone for watching.
Always
If you
a
made
good
it to this
time.
point of the video, we love you. We
Always. Much love.
We want to keep coming back.
Keep going
Keep
back,
rocking with
baby.
the Bice in the back.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank
Shouts. All right, that's a wrap.
Wrap it.
Peace.